Hey, Rick. Oh, onegaishimasu. Okay, great. That's just use enough. A little bit front and back. Very good. And a little bit side to side. And into rotation. Great, and going to away from this one. Oh, okay, great. Take it into swinging the arms. Great. Going to the side, going to the shoulder. Perfect. And then roll with the arms, circling them both ways. Great, changing the direction. Oops. Great, and then next one, working with a figure of 8, so kind of rolling the arms over and try and get that movement in the hip also, so slightly different hip work. And these are the 3. It's kind of rolling that hip, nice and flexible here. It's like kind of rise and fall in the hip. Across the feet as well. That's it. Nice. Nice. Great. Okay, take a jump. We'll continue that motion. Let's just keep that motion going. Just work one side. We're focusing on the kind of roll across the hips. So that kind of rise and fall. Changing hands every so often. Nice. Yeah, and the main thing is try and make a distinction between the sense of like twisting the hip, or like, which is basically the upper body. So the hips kind of staying in place and then the body rolling, which is something like that. Or the feeling that you can actually get that motion again from the hip. So this kind of area in a way is kind of neutral. But you want to try and avoid the sense that you're kind of twisting the upper body and the lower body is kind of getting twisted against it. So just play now like switching the hands. But the key is that sense that the hips are going to kind of flex and create that kind of spiral into the ground. So more of a kind of spiraling movement from the center and a twisting of the upper body. And it's trying to ground all the movement with the lower body. With the feet. That's it. Yeah, good. And then just take really small steps with it, and just match. You want to match now as you roll the Joe like this. Match that movement to the footwork. So you've got to kind of. It's a bit exaggerated, but play with the shifting of the weight in the leg, and it's going to go in the same way that the Joe's moving. That pattern's going to go into the hip as well. So one hip grounding down, and then grounding down. And wave through the hips. So yeah, good. Just nice small steps. You're just kind of shifting it. Shifting it. Good. Nice. Good. And then just want to make the steps a little bit bigger. So think about kind of stepping in. You can also start to kind of roll in direction. But again, play that sense that you're kind of rolling underneath the movement, especially now letting the hips flex, holding the ground, especially more like sinking in so that you pass through the foot. Again, looking forward, backwards, to the side. Okay, cool. And then just take it to this movement where you're kind of coming over the shoulder and then rolling through the hip. And again, just play with, just starting with the feet down. And again, that feeling that that movement's coming from the ground. So grinding down, back, rising, sinking. But that sense that you're driving it from the lower body back and through. Just trying to create a really kind of dense, thick connection to the hip work with the jaw. Slower the better is this one. And then just taking it to kind of shuffling steps, just kind of stepping out with it. Just really focus on where the ground is underneath the jaw. And once you feel that, just explore stepping with it. Nice. Now, if you've got the space for this one, it's a bit tricky. If you can do this with a shorter stick if you've got one. So you take now the jaw right over the back, come into this way, roll it through, take it with the opposite hand, draw it up, don't hit your leg, and then swing it through. So you're gonna alternate it back up, then you're gonna roll it up, take it to the back hip, here, take it, raise it up, and then swing it through. And just start nice and slow with it. Watch the space, watch the ceiling. But again, try and unlock it with the hip work. So you got big movement to the hip. Change it, roll it up, lock it in, Give it a try. Nice. Yeah, for this one, you go over the back here and then release it up, and then you're gonna curl the hip. So this hip and this hand curling, so that kind of the Joe's gonna kind of wrap around the body this way. So then you've got that big movement coming into the hip right now, and then you unleash it, move back up, change it, find it, roll it, coil the hip, kind of coiling and coiling the body. So, yeah. Great, we will take it to a little bit further. So we'll look at the 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 series, 11, 12, 13, and then see where we go with them. So take these really slow first. So 11 comes back, and the judge here. Get the hips right underneath it, strong extension out, and then really slow this move, coil the hip underneath it, right to the top. This way, coiling down. Really take time. You want to feel the body's right underneath it and dragging the jump through the roof. Back. Good. Yeah, the main thing with this is that first starting position. So just watch the arms as you do it. You don't want to be too low with the arms where they're kind of too close to the body, something like that. I've got no extension, and then I'm asking the Joe to kind of work in that kind of way. But also, I don't want to be too high with the arms where I'm in that kind of position, because then the arms are already too far extended, and then the upper body's in control of the movement because it's basically stretched out. So look for, in terms of extension, where you want to have full extension, but feel that the Joe's being just connected into the hip, that kind of feel. So just work here on that connection. But feel the difference between that, whether I get jammed, or that where I'm stretched out and the hip can't really connect into it. It's just a kind of block. Just play between those three positions. Right? Play in those three positions and try and find just the right connection with the hip. Great. Now this same point about this with the figure of 8, that sense of the upper body making the rotation where you end up kind of twisting. This is really easy to do in this movement. So watch out in this case for the upper body twisting through the movement, which gets this kind of movement. And then the hips again, they can't really connect into the body and the shoulders. So play again in this case, it's really the sense that their hip rolls the movement through and feel that the kind of center of the body just kind of passes through rather than twist through it this way. So think of your kind of angle, or think of the core of your body basically travels forward through it, and the hips create that kind of open and close of movement. Yeah. That's nice. So, great, and then last point, watch for this big settling movement at the end. So again, this is really easy to do these movements because the position's very kind of asymmetrical and you've got a lot of weight going forward in it. So watch for this. And then the body grounds through it. So again, as you do it, think as you're arcing up with the jaw, you're arcing through the ground. So that by the time of the strike, the body's already grounded. So it's basically this idea of like you take the ground with you as you go, but I don't want to lose the ground and then try and find it, which creates this big kind of bobbing movement. So try and do it with the ground underneath. A bit more. So you look for a really kind of calm finish at the end. But tricky because it's a quite a stressful movement for the body. That's it. Nice. Oh, good. Great, good. Nice. Okay, perfect. We will go to Katate Tomouchi, so number 12. So starting from Tsukikamai, rolling back, give yourself a bit of space at the back of the jaw, go to the back of the head, and then again, nice and slow, rolling through. Ooh, don't hit anything, you go, on the back. So 1, 2, nice and slow through it. Now you've got a descending arc through the movement, so from the top to the bottom. Yes. Okay, great. Just think about the wrist in this one as well. So be really careful with this movement. Especially, you don't want to have the sense that you're kind of flicking the movement out with the wrist. So what you don't want to happen is like at that point that the wrist coming out of position with it. So think of this basically like an extension of a yokomen, that kind of feeling, and that kind of feeling with the arm is basically the same thing. But you don't want to kind of do it with the wrist kind of flicking it, and especially with this one because you've got all the weight of it's going through the wrist. So I need the wrist to be really quite stable through that position. So it's not fixed, but I don't want it to kind of flick out at that point, which is going to kind of, the key to it is as you finish the position, I don't want to be in that position with the jaw. I want to be in that position with the jaw. So the finish is there rather than that. That tells me I kind of flicked the I've flicked the wrist through it. So play with that kind of movement. So you're looking for that kind of position with the wrist. Right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Good. And then the other point with this one, think about the arm as you do it. You don't want to flick out the arm either. So you don't want the arm to be coming into this position. Again, the shoulder, the elbow are kind of really out of position. And then I'm asking that the shoulder joint to take all that weight through it. So again, think about connecting it in. Connect this movement into the back of the body. So I want the arm to be kind of sitting into the structure of the core. So think of the shoulder in this one. I don't want to pull it out of the structure. So think of it kind of rolling through it. If you think about later this going to a more of a 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂, that kind of movement, I need the shoulder to sit into that position. Again, it's just an extension of kind of 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒄 position rather than that kind of movement. You want that kind of feeling through it. There. So everything's going to sit into the structure. But again, tricky because everything's kind of extending out on that side. So that's kind of challenge with these. Yes, that's it. Yikes. Boom. And the target again is like a 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒄, so you're striking the side of the head. Bam! It's just kind of descending through it, through the strike. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Good. Nice. That's nice. Great. Okay, we'll take it to 13. So you've got Hachi no Jigashi and Katate Hachi no Jigashi. So figure of 8 kind of rotation. So do this in steps first. So you've got this roll in. Again, feel that the hips kind of dragging the jaw through the movement. So you've got 1, fix the position here, and then 2, bringing the foot in, and then 3, you'll roll into this kind of hassle position. So you've got 1, 2, and then 3. Oh, 1, 2. And then just take it into a kind of slow flow with it. So you want, again, now the hips to really drag the jaw through the movement. The big problem with this one, again, is that kind of twisting in the upper body so that the arms start to take over and end up with a really kind of upper body movement. So trying to drive it on the ground and through a hip. And again, try to keep the ground underneath the movement all the time. Really kind of flexible footwork now. Okay, great. We'll take this into a set with all three of them. So the first few we'll do just up to the, kind of link them all together. We'll just go up to, we'll put 11 and 12 together first. So it starts with a ski. And the ski, you draw back into 11 here to the top. And then this move, just think about, as you come down, you're going to roll it into this kind of movement. So you're going back into the ski position. And then from, actually, we'll just go to that. We'll just do that first. So just that first movement. Goes 1, 2, roll back, 3, that, and then drop it away to find it and come right this way. We'll start with kind of semi-fluid movement, that. Now this is whole as one. Dropping in. There we go. And we're trying to maintain the ground under the movement, keeping the hips in this kind of flexible, open position. Nice. Nice. And throughout the set, it's really useful to think of having a kind of target in front of you so that you orientate the body to one kind of point. It's really, again, it's really easy with these movements to start to let the body kind of roll in and out, and then I basically my energy's kind of dissipated. So think of basically find a target and everything goes towards it in terms of these movements of the strikes. Bam, yeah, and then bam, yeah, and then they come right. So all the positions are low, or all the positions are focused on a target. And in this case, they're all kind of to the front, and we'll switch it a little bit. keep in mind the body's kind of orientation to it. Again, it's the hips which are kind of flexing to allow the blood to pass through. So, yeah, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. Nice. Got it. Whoosh. Okay, we'll take it a step further. So this is the same. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 to the back to the command, and then from here you're going to rotate to the back side from this leg into 12. Find this position, and then you come in, find the tomauchi, and then finish with a ski to the front. So again, use the kind of orientation of a kind of target front and back. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Big movements. Okie dokie, perfect. We will finish the set. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now from here, you're going to rotate the body and you're going to find the 13. So roll the body in, open the hip out, and then find 13 here. And we're just going to finish with a basic yokomen strike to finish. So you've got from 12, dum, dum, rotating out, find 13, finishing with a yokomen. Nicely long set, bring it all through together. 1, 2, 3, 4, rotate, 5, 6, 7, rotate again. 1, 2, to finish. Okay, perfect. We'll go to another set of movements because these are kind of loaded on the body on one side, so just to balance the movements out. This one is just with thrust, so you're going to start in the left side. Do this in both sides eventually, so kind of continuous kata with it. So it's a kind of 4-directional kata. We've done it before, I think. So goes like this: 1, and then you change into Zengo. 2, you thrust out now to the diagonal, so you're going to thrust with the back side of the jo. Here, 3, and then you roll the jo back, and into 4 to the back side. That way. So it's on the left side. So everything we've done is basically on the right. So you go thrust, change, thrust, change, ski, change, ski to the back. So you've got kind of 4-direction movements. So it goes 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and once you got it on the left, just play with it on the right as well. So you start on the right side, exactly the same. Just mirrors it. 1, change, 2, 3, change, 4. 1, 2, 3. Right, and then once you got it both sides, play with it, basically linking it together. So you go 1, 2, 3, change, 4, and then draw the jo back. You go in again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw the jo back to the beginning. So you kind of move it all around these 4 directions. Whoosh. Whoosh. Okay, just start to play with kind of flexible form. You can go back to one side, or you can kind of mix them together. But think about now the kind of footwork acting like pressure pads for the kind of movement. So the key one here is like the back foot coming in. So bump, press out of it. Bump, press out of it. Bump, up. So the feet are kind of constantly padding through the movements. So you've got 1, 2, 3. That's one. 2, 3, 4. I really contain the movement in the center of the body. Let the gel kind of fire out. Plus. Okay, perfect. Start to kind of freestyle, mix them in these kind of ski patterns. Also going back to these one-handed attacks, much more kind of sharp, much more these kind of swinging movements. So you've got these percussive ski strikes. Yeah. And then mix them in also with these kind of big kind of sweeping arcs. Just play with it. You can take it nice and slow. Step by step. I'll kind of mix them in for you. A slightly different flavor. It's kind of swirling through and out. Kind of plosive. See what else comes out. All the animation. Strikes on this kind of movement. Yes. Okay, great. Last exercise, a bit more like a kind of taijutsu. Keep the feeling of these kind of movements, the kind of strikes and these kind of arcing movements, but play with the 𝒌𝒊𝒏𝒈 in this kind of pattern. So you're thinking a bit more in terms of taijutsu kind of patterns, but yeah, keep that kind of feeling, these kind of impulses, these kind of movements, but it's basically a bit shorter and focusing more on the core of the body rather than kind of sending it out to the tip. Think about the space between the hands and how it's relating, especially again, hands to hips. And the feet to hip, that kind of connection, the lower body and the upper connection. Just play kind of moving around, a little bit more like the turning exercises, but keep that sense that you can also kind of impact percussion with the gel. So just explore changing the grip as well, mix everything together. Okay, okay, great. Let's stop there. Very good. Right. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂